Yo gamers, SpanielGaming here. Today, I'm back with another Skyrim Challenge video. Now this one was quite peculiar. I would like to point out, by the way, footage of this was recorded quite a while ago. I just never really got around to editing it, but now I'm here, so if I remember correctly, inspiration for me wanting to do this challenge is because I had just watched the first Lord of the Rings film again. So that made me want to make this video. I don't know. But yeah, basically rules of the challenge, Uruk-hai challenge. I can only use Orcish armor and weapons. I have to murder everyone I see outside of like cities, towns, and I have to complete the main storyline of Skyrim, as usual. So yeah, let's just get into it, gamers. Our epic journey awaits, where we are on a cart to our deaths. We are going to the block, and this child wanted to see us get executed. Just see.
To go inside.
Why? I want to watch the soldiers.
Inside the house. Now.
We arrive at our destination. Ralof floats again, and Loki tries to make a run for it, but gets epically 360 no-scoped and dies. I create my character. I obviously went for an orc, and that's the appearance I went with. I'm not sure why, but I don't know. I just did that, and it was time to die. So, as I was about to get beheaded by this executioner, Alduin appears and murders everyone in the city. So, me and Ralof run into the tower, except I stop by to brag to this guy that I'm living and he isn't. It was pretty epic. I do some epic parkour, and then I get fuss-radard by Alduin along with a bunch of other guards, and then me and Ralof go to the Helgen Keep, and we escape. So here's the beginning of the challenge, boys. So Ralof just obviously tells us to go to Riverwood to speak to his sister Gerda, so that's exactly what I did, and I raided all of her belongings, like her food and stuff, because we're gonna need that for the challenge for the end fights. Now that we're in free room of Skyrim, we can get the Orcish armor and the battle axe, which we can only use for this entire challenge. But there's only one way I know of getting it, and that is scaling the fences of an orc stronghold. And yeah, the Orcish armor and weapons were just there waiting for me, which I definitely didn't steal, as it says there. They were my rightful property. So now the challenge truly begins. I make my way over to Whiterun, and this person starts squaring up to me, so I pull out my battle axe to show them that my weapon is more menacing than theirs, but they didn't really, they didn't care. So then I speak to the Jarl, who tells me to speak to his mage or wizard, whatever you want to call him, Farengar, this guy. He then sends me into Bleakfall's Barrow, a dungeon, to get a dragon stone. So I lead a draw into a trap, cause funny, massacre every single other draw I find, including the Overlord. We had an epic one-on-one showdown, and then I got the dragon stone. I then give Farengar the dragon stone, and then Irileth comes rushing into the room, saying that a dragon was sighted nearby Whiterun, and she says that I should investigate it as well. So I nag the Jarl, and I get kind of annoyed because he keeps ignoring me.
Tell him what
Not
you told
now.
me about the dragon.
Not now. Not now.
That's right. We saw
Not
it coming
now.
from the south. It
Not
was
now.
fast. Faster
Not
than
now.
anything I've ever seen.
What did it do? Is it attacking the watchtower?
No,
Not
my
now.
lord. It was just circling overhead when I left.
After I was done taking my anger out on the Jarl, he says that I should go and help kill the dragon, even though all I did was get a stone for his court mage. But I got there before everyone else, and I had to wait several hours for them to actually arrive. It was very boring, but eventually Irileth and her men appeared. So then we investigated the watchtower, we found a survivor of the dragon, and we waited for it. And sure enough, it definitely came, and it torched a few people whilst it was here. I did absolutely nothing in this fight just because I couldn't be bothered. So, the Whiterun guards in Era left killed the dragon, and then I absorbed its soul because, yeah, just call me Shang Tsung, I guess. And then that got all the guards to believe I was Dragonborn. So, I got back to Whiterun, and as I was waiting for the sky to talk to me, pretty much, this courier came.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. It's a letter. Not sure who from. He wouldn't say, just that he was a friend of yours. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
I rushed to the yard before all the other men, and I said that I killed the dragon, because we all know that that's very true. And he told me that I was Dragonborn and to go up to High Hrothgar to meet the Greybeards. And he also appointed me Lydia, the housecarl. So I tried to recruit her to get her to follow me. However, you can't have more than 2 followers at once, so that meant I no longer needed Sven's services.
Hey, do that! Be careful!
The guards didn't appreciate me doing that, and one of the guards talked to me in the middle of combat, and Lydia was just beating the shite out of me. Okay, yeah, can you, like, not talk to me? She's beating me up! Oh my god, how much health do I have left? I'm going to die, this guard... I'm just gonna let it happen. Am I invincible? Alright. How much health am I on? Not a lot. Oh, I then replaced Sven with Lydia, so now we had a way better follower, and then this Whiterun guard said something very offensive to my race.
Or charmer, huh? Had me a set of that once. Ugly and strong, like those that forged it.
They can barely tolerate our presence on Earth.
I started making my way up High Hrothgar, but for some reason in the rift I had a bounty on me, and I honestly cannot remember why.
By the order of the Jarl. Stop right there.
I then massacred some wolves, killed this person to get the Amulet of Talos for shouts. I then climbed the stairs to High Hrothgar, opened the magical doors, talked to Arnir, who said I was Dragonborn, and taught me a word or something of Fusrada, I don't know. And then he told me to get the Horn of Uragon Windcaller, which is the founder of the Greybeards. So, as we were there, Lydia made a sacrifice to the fire gods, and then I found them, well, I found where the horn should have been. I need to find a note, being like, get noobed, I have the horn. And as I went to Riverwood, as the note told me to, the 2 cultists started squaring up to me. They asked me a question. I didn't answer it. Nah, I just killed them. So then I rented the attic room, like as the note said, yet again. Waited for several centuries until Delphine gave me the horn, and told me to follow her, where she said that I had to follow her to kill a dragon, because she wanted my help to kill a dragon or something. So then I went to High Hrothgar, gave Arngir the note. He was quite happy. He taught me another word of Fusradar, and then I wanted to test my new shout. Me and Delphine then found out that Alduin, the World Eater, the eldest dragon, was actually summoning more dragons from the dead. And I think I was supposed to listen to the 2 dragons' conversations here, but I don't care. I just charged in because I was bored. And I want to say here, Delphine did absolutely nothing in this fight. It was all me. And then, like every dragon, I absorbed its soul, because that's very normal. And then Delphine said she owed me some answers. So then she revealed that she was part of a secret organization, not called the Illuminati, but called the Blades. So she told me to meet in Riverwood, where I met Sven again.
You look like a traveler. Someone that has seen faraway places and heard new stories. I'd better get going.
Delphine then told me who the Falmor were. They're like a faction who hate the Blades, and Delphine thinks that they know about the dragons, so I need to invade their party. And so I watched a man get publicly executed and spoke with Malborn, who was going to get me into the party. However, he kept on nagging me, like, about my job, like, your job, is it? You'll see. So, he told me it like 50 times before I, left the city, and I'm greeted with this as soon as I leave.
Your job is to get into the party without being fingered as a spy. Take care of it.
After I gave Malborn every single one of my possessions, Delphine gave me the invitation and gave me a disguise, so I went to the party and I stole every single bit of their food, massacred all of the guards because they were annoying me, and then I found the documents, I found the evidence, and then I freed this prisoner, a teen. He thought I was being nice, but nah. After finding Malborn's dead corpse, we went into the cave, and I told a teen to jump and I'd be right behind him, but I basically just used him as bait so that I could run away. And it worked. And so Delphine then told me, well, I told Delphine what I found, and also that Esbern was hiding somewhere, so she wanted me to find him. And so I found an Orcish bow whilst I was finding him, and then I found him in solitary confinement, and then after a bit of persuasion he opened the door, and then we talked. I convinced him that I was Delphine's friend and that he had to come to Riverwood, so we began our great escape. We got back to Riverwood and Delphine and Esbern had some sort of friendly reunion or something, I don't know, and then we had to find Skyhaven Temple, the Blade's old hideout, and I was getting massive Subnautica vibes on the way. After I shite you not, just sprinting past every single dragon and other random enemy I saw, we found Skyhaven Temple, and because of SpanielGaming tradition, I fussed Lydia into a fiery mess. And then we found Skyhaven Temple, I made some sacrifice, blood loss thing funny, and then we found Alduin's Wall, where we learnt that a shout was used to defeat Alduin, or at least to help defeat him, called Dragon Rend. And so, I went to none other than the Greybeards to ask them, and they had a go at me, saying I had to speak to Parthenax. So that's exactly what I did. I spoke to Parthenax, and I asked him how to find Dragon Rend, or at least tried, but before I could, I noticed some movement in the background, and I didn't know who it was. So after inspecting them, I still didn't know. They looked like bandits to me. So I escaped the dialogue, and I started to walk over to them. And I was gonna murder them anyways, cause Orc Challenge. But it turns out they wanted to kill me as well, because they were hired thugs. And so we got into an epic fight. And then when we killed them, I think Parthenax accidentally lit me on fire. And so Lydia started attacking him, and it was epic at first, but it became bloody annoying because that meant that I couldn't talk to Parthenax, and I kind of need to progress the story, because every time I started talking to Parthenax, Lydia would just bloody shoot him in the head, and so it got to the point where I genuinely just had enough, and I wanted to teach Lydia a lesson, so I may or may not have fussed her off a cliff in my anger. And I accidentally killed her. So in my frustration, with my apparent anger issues, I accidentally killed her, and we had to give her respect by throwing her off a cliff. I ended up having to load an old save because Parthenax just completely broke, so that meant Lydia was still alive, and I asked Parthenax where to find the Elder Scroll because he told me I needed it to learn Dragon Rend. And I went to the College of Winterhold to get some books to learn the location of it. And, this happened.
I don't want to see you treating any of these books poorly. Are we clear?
I then bought some books from Shrek, and one of the books were apparently really insane, and so the Shrek guide told me that Septimus wrote it. So I went over to him and asked him the location of an Elder Scroll, and he actually knew the location of it, which was pretty epic. So then he told us, and during the dungeon, about the boss fight, the way I did it is I found a way to cheese it. So basically, I activated the boss fight, and then I just sprinted up the stairs and just locked the gate. So, well, I thought that he wouldn't be able to do anything to us. I thought that we'd be able to, like, hit him as much as we want until he died, and he couldn't do anything. But I was wrong. He could still attack, and so we shot him for like 14 years until he finally died. It was a very hard boss fight, very challenging, and I was confused as to how Lydia was shooting firebolts until I saw the massive staff in her hands. So I checked her inventory and she somehow got a staff of firebolts, no idea how, but yeah, she did. So then I found the location of the Elder Scroll, to which I completed this epic puzzle, because, you know, I'm so epic gamer. I completed the puzzle, and then it revealed the Elder Scroll, which I did a very slow and dramatic walk up to it, because I felt like it. So then we took the Elder Scroll, and then quest complete. I then read the Elder Scroll, and something extremely weird happened. Still don't know what. And then I learnt Dragon Rend from the ancient Nords themselves. Now that we know Dragon Rend, it was time for the first Alduin fight, which was honestly fairly easy because we had me, Lydia, and Parthenax all attacking Alduin at once. I kept using Dragon Rend, just bringing him down, just brutalizing him with my axe. It didn't actually take long at all because I have a massive two-handed battle axe probably, but it did get pretty annoying that he would never actually stay still for me to Dragon Rend him, because normally the time to Dragon Rend him is when he like hovers in the air in the same position for like a few seconds. But yeah, once he's down, you just swing at him until he dies, kind of. And then that's exactly what I did. And then for some reason we just all stood there and listened to his speech instead of actually killing him and saving the entire world. And so he flies off like a coward, and I had to talk to Parthenax on guidance for what to do next. And he suggested kidnapping a dragon, which is exactly what we were going to do. So I asked the Jarl of Windhelm, or at least I was going to, but then I found out he was sleeping, and I had manners, so I just found a chair and just sat on it for several hours, waiting for him to wake up, until I got bored and just woke him up myself. I asked him politely if we could trap a dragon in his palace, but he just laughed at me, saying that he wouldn't do it unless the war that he was in will not exist. So we arranged a peace council between the Stormcloaks and the Imperials, and then we attempted to make a truce. I took the Stormcloaks side on absolutely everything, and the Imperials were not at all happy with me, we'll say. And then Esbern at the end taught me the shout of Cool Dragon, as if he was like some sort of greybeard or something, I don't know. So then Jarl said he was ready, so I told him I was ready, and then it was time to capture Odar Ving. So I called him on the balcony thing, and then waited for a long time until he finally came. And when he did come, he immediately just swooped in and just snatched a guard and sent him flying. I would have been upset, but I knew the guy for about 3 seconds. Anyways, because I'm so epic, I managed to lure Odar Ving into the trap, and then we had a nice friendly chat as he was restrained by the trap. And he told me he would help me get to Alduin if I let him go. So we opened the trap, and then he held to his promise because he's a dragon or something, and then we flew off to Sovngarde, or the portal of it, and I was on my own now. So, all you need to know about this is that I went to every single dragon and draw I could find, and absolutely brutalized all of them with no mercy at all. Just kidding, I ran past everything because I couldn't be bothered to kill everything because it would have just been too much effort. I then completely outplayed this necromancer looking guy, and went into Sovngarde, and this guy wouldn't let me in the hall, so I pretty much just beat the shite out of him until he let me in, which he eventually did. So then I grouped up all 3 ancient Nordic heroes who beat Alduin once, and it was time for the second and final Alduin fight. And honestly, this one was way easier than the first one, because now I had 3 allies instead of 2, plus Alduin was just on the floor for like most of the fight. And so it was extremely easy to for all 4 of us to just absolutely brutalize him. So then, after quite a few dragon rends and axe strikes, I finally got the final hit, and we once again became the new champion, the hero of Skyrim, and I beat the main storyline of Skyrim with only Orcish equipment. Enjoyed making it because I've had a bit of a break from Skyrim, and damn it, it's good to be back. I just forgot how much I loved the game, man, and I'm epic. It's epic to be back. So thanks for watching. I have a lot of challenge ideas, by the way, for Skyrim, and they're all gonna be a lot harder than this. This was a warm-up compared to what I have planned. So yeah, I'll see you in the next episode, gamers.